okay, so Alcoholics Anonymous is obviously for the alcoholic, right? It's a program based on the 12 steps. It was created and designed there. It goes a little further, but I'm just going to start with Bill W. and Dr. Bob. There's two guys who were also alcoholics who decided that they were going to create an organization to help other alcoholics, right? And over the years, they developed 12 steps. They got 12 traditions. They have 12 concepts and principles that we live by. And that's the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous is also affectionately known as the Bible for Dummies, right? Because a lot of the principles within the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous are based on spirituality. But there's also a lot of psychology that's in there as well, right? So that's Alcoholics Anonymous. So
And people at Alcoholics Anonymous, they don't drink, they don't partake in any drinking, or
they don't partake in any drinking. They completely abstain from alcohol and or any mood altering substances. And now, even though smoking is allowed, but smoking is technically a mood or mind altering chemical, right?
okay.
Because it is a stimulant. But theoretically, right, it's like no mood or mind altering chemicals. That also includes drugs. Now,
And
other
Al-Anon,
programs,
no, Al-Anon, there are people that partake in drinking.
yeah, yeah, and well, Al-Anon is the normie side, and I'll get into that here in just a second. But yeah, so Al-Anon was actually developed and a spin-off of Alcoholics Anonymous, because what they found was the wives. Now, Bill W.'s wife was Lois, if I remember correctly. She was the founder of Al-Anon. So what would end up happening is that Bill and Dr. Bob would meet up at their house or whatever, and these men would come over and they'd have this little like table, round table, talking about their issues and their problems and so on and so forth. Because alcoholism was primarily during that time was associated more with men. And so Lois and would sit at the kitchen table with the ladies, and shooting the shit and all of that other good stuff in regards to like, well, it's like, well, they got something to talk about and they got something that they got to, that they can work through their issues with. It's like maybe we need something to put, to work through our issues with. And so what they did is with a few minor changes, they adopted the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12 steps, 12 traditions, and the concepts. And they also developed Al-Anon. Now, Al-Anon is basically the dry side of the bottle, right? So you have the alcoholic who lives inside the bottle, right? You have the Al-Anon who's on the outside of the bottle, right? Now, those people that are on the outside, as if you actually work through the 12 steps, and I've been lucky enough to work through the 12 steps in all three programs. So seeing it from the alcoholics perspective, the Al-Anon perspective, and we'll get into ACA here shortly, but the Al-Anon perspective, you start to find out that we're just like the alcoholic. We don't use, but what we end up finding out is that the people are our addiction, meaning the alcoholic is the addiction, meaning the people that we need to fix become our addiction, meaning
so in your dad's
our
context,
codependency.
You're saying your dad was your addiction?
No, my ex-wife and my ex-girlfriend were my addiction.
Okay, so what? How would that translate if your dad being
Okay, so that's where adult children of alcoholics
okay?
comes
So
in,
that's
right?
okay. Got
That's
it.
a whole other program. You're like, holy shit, dude,
Yeah,
you're a
no, my
Triple
mind's
Crown
trying to
winner.
piece this together. So
Yeah.
the
So
women.